All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Let's go. Huh? How are we doing on this 100 degree? Hey, you would think with the day off I could learn to speak. You see what I should just start over. I should just end the stream and start over. So, how's everybody doing on this 100 degree Wednesday? Gotcha. All right, I'm just going to let you guys talk. Let's go to the comments. Clearly, I'm not fit. Clearly, I should try to find another job. Now, I'm having to blow the. My eyes have really been giving me trouble the last week. I'm having to blow the chat up to like supersize over here. So I can only see a few comments at once. I don't want to wear my glasses. So there's that. How's everybody doing? Damien, Colin, how are we doing? Do I think we'll have a professional women's hockey league team? It wouldn't shock me. Colin, yeah, you've been seeing a lot of conflicting reports about Ekblad and Marchand. Bennett's a done deal. I have it on good authority. The puppets told me Bennett's a done deal. They're all just waiting for Ekblad's wife to make up her mind if she wants to move or not. Colin, Evander Kane is being traded to the Canucks. It's officially traded for a 4th-round pick. Yeah, I guess they got tired of him taking stupid penalties. I don't know what he's going to do in Vancouver. Hey, Bex. Exactly, man. Yeah, Bex says I like Kane being on the Oilers. It really cripples him. I know, man. Who are we gonna get to make the stupid penalties next year when we face them a 3rd straight time? Good to see the Canucks are addressing their locker room issues by trading for Evander. Oh, yeah. Hey, John. Yeah, I'm not so sure Hockey Guy is going to be thrilled about that. Hey, Simon, how we doing, bud? So I did go to the gym this morning. It's too hot for fishing. We hit 100 degrees here yesterday. We hit 100. We hit feels like 107. It's been obscene. It's supposed to break tomorrow night. Like tomorrow afternoon, we're supposed to have a lot of rain. The high Friday is 77. So Friday, I'm just gonna be fishing all day. You won't even see me. I'll just be disappeared. Hey, Icy. SoFlo, it's interesting that you mentioned that. He says I need some more men's channel content. So I have something coming, SoFlo. That's going to be a 90-day thing. I'm in the middle of writing the scripts and everything for it as we speak the last 3 or 4 days. So I'll probably have some information about that in the next couple of days. I got to create the thumbnails and the title for it. But I have something that's going to be a daily thing for 90 days. So appreciate you asking. Dylan says, where's our Marshy contract? They need it like water. Huh? There's so much to consider, right? Eric says, I literally just read that the Bennett talks have slowed down. Oh, maybe they don't need to talk so much. Maybe it's the difference between 7.6 and 8.1, right? They're getting close. Greg says, if Marshy goes, what about grabbing Granlund? I don't know. I mean, if Marshy goes, if you sign Bennett and Samoskevich, you're done. You're done. You need a 4C. That's about it. Because Boquist is signed, Rodriguez is signed. Like even without Marchand, Barkov, Reinhart, Verhage, Bennett, Kachuk, Samoskevich, Lundell, Lucerana, and Rodriguez, 4C, Greer, and Gadjevich. Boquist is already signed. So I don't know what they would do. I think they would just, and don't forget Sordiff, right? I don't think we're going to be going out and grabbing much of anybody at all, to be honest. Maybe trade deadline. We'll have a repeat of last year where Samoskevich, you know what I mean, played the season, didn't play much in the playoffs. That could happen with Sordiff this year. Hey, Chopper. Eyes, yeah, I know. We were hoping for the double cup. Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, all the waiting is giving you heartburn. Hey, Ryan Ree. Yeah, I saw that. The preseason games came out yesterday. I already know that the the doubleheader, the Panthers doubleheader against Nashville is on a Sunday, but the Dolphins play that Thursday. So that Sunday, Kyle will be downstairs streaming football games. I will be upstairs streaming the Nashville Panthers doubleheader. Skyler says, I don't want to have the Oilers again. I'm officially tired of them we want a new team. Hey, JD. Yeah. I like playing Edmonton because we win. Chopper says, according to Nick Krypios, that's how you spell his name, the Panthers may be looking towards moving Rodriguez as a cap casualty. Don't say you didn't hear it here first if that happens. I would like that to not happen, but the only way that's okay is if it means you're keeping Bennett, Marchand, and Ekblad. If you keep all three, but the only way to do it is you got to move Rodriguez, then that's why he signed Boquist. It sucks, but it is what it is, maybe. Silva says the Charlotte kids stay hungry. Yeah. You know, Sordif is hoping Marchand doesn't stay. Hey, Vanish, how you doing, bud? Yeah, Vander Kane is I think he got moved for a fourth. So here's what I'll say about Kane. Nice play. Frank Vetrano. That's what I'll say about Kane is Frank Vetrano. Frank Vetrano was I wouldn't say he was great, but he was a great player for us. In terms of what we needed on the ice, he filled the role. Except if there was a stupid penalty to take at the wrong time of the game, it's Vetrano every time, every single time. And then eventually, there were more than one recap, Vanish, where I was screaming, get Frank Vetrano off my effing hockey team. They finally did. So Kane is a good player, but the penalties, man, the stupid penalties. Chopper says Evan Rodriguez, Oliver Okular, and the 25 fourth to LA for the 2025 first round. Is that an imaginary deal, Chopper, or is that a done deal? Huh. Tell me. Hey, Kenneth, thank you, bud. Do I think Chucky starts the season? I would guess not. If he's 50-50 on needing surgery, take some time off, Chucky. If you're going to get the surgery, you're out till January, February. If you don't, there's no reason to rush back. Hey, thank you, Cuban. Thank you, bud. Thank you, Cuban. Says Patrick Kane to the Panthers. No, thank you. No, thank you. Not interested. Soflo says none of the trades so far impressed me. Zegras doesn't scream Flyers to me, and Evander Kane to Vancouver, right? Yeah. Hey, Kubich. Appreciate the content. Mackey's going to be better another year, and absolutely. This was the dude gets to play with Sam Bennett and Matthew Tkachuk to learn. I mean, and you got Marchand. I mean, it's just a beautiful situation for him. Hey, Jameson. Yeah, you, Evander Kane. No, I figured you'd be here. I figured. JC says that we signed both Bennett and Marchand. Erod is getting traded regardless of what happens with Ekblad. I mean, it was my idea, but I don't know. Not saying it was my idea, but you know what I mean. When I made that video, that was my idea. But you could put Rodriguez at 4C. You could put him at 4C. But it would depend on how much Marchand's going to take. Colin, yeah, the Checkers lost. That's right, the NHL draft. Well, right now, the Dolphins, the Panthers don't have much in the way of draft picks. We don't pick to the fourth. So I haven't really paid much attention, to be honest. Have we talked about the Granlund rumors? Somebody asked me earlier. Okay, Imagine deal. Gotcha, Chopper. Right. Gotcha, Chopper. The Granlund rumors. Well, I haven't seen them. I keep saying it. If we sign our guys, we don't need anybody. Even if you trade Rodriguez, like you'd want an upgraded 4C, but Boquist is on the roster. Hey, David. Yeah, the Canucks are going to have a lot of call-ups. Yeah. BJ. Oh, I haven't seen those, Hungry. I'll have to check that out. John says, couldn't Patrick Kane be another Marchand on the third line if we got him for way cheaper than Marchand? I don't know. I'd honestly, if you're not going to have Marchand, I'd rather let Sordiff get some time to develop on that third line and then go the trade deadline route again come playoff time. That's what I would rather do if you're not going to have Marchand there. So Anthony wants to know, we bring back both Bennett and Marchand, but let Ekblad walk. Who do we bring in to replace him or any of our defensemen in the system? So none of our AHL guys are ready. That's not even, we're not close. Unless you want to give Benning or Kierstead a chance, which I don't know about that. Benning is not that big. I don't know about putting Benning with Mikkola. The guy I made a video, the guy I like is Yokoharu. He's available. If you don't sign Ekblad, you might be able to afford him. He might come here on a kind of a, on a cheaper deal, not cheaper, but, 4 or 5 million. That's the guy I'd like to see next to Mikkola if we can't keep Ekblad. Silva says, if Chucky gets surgery, LTIR until playoffs, same top line, Bennett, Erod, Mackey, Lundell, Lucerine, and Sordiff. Right. And we all know the fourth line. Yeah, that's another thing, Silva. I was actually talking about that on the members podcast today. The members podcast is up. If you're Zito, you kind of need to know if Tkachuk's going to be available to start the season before you go trading guys like Rodriguez. Unless Sordiff's going to get a lot of, you could use Sordiff like you did Mackey again this year, right? Marner's, Cuban says, nobody's talking about this, but Marner's supposedly looking for a small deal, like a bridge deal until the cap goes up. I think he would play with us to sign. I don't want him. Like even if he was going to take 2 years at $7 million, Samoskevich that's his spot. To me, I don't think you would. And Bennett likes playing with him. They love playing with that kid. Yeah, Bex, I know if Tkachuk does LTIR again, I know. Hey, Rosado, how you doing, bud? Thank you, Colin. I haven't had a chance to check it out, but I will. Thank you. Now, Chopper's got the right possible idea. Sign Bennett, sign Marchand, let Ekblad go, trade Rodriguez, go get Yokoharu for cheap, and then we have some flexibility for Samoskevich, Nosek, and Schmidt. I wouldn't mind having Schmidt back. I was watching some of the stuff this morning. I wouldn't mind having Schmidt back. Nosek, the same thing. Hey, Thomas. Yeah, Kane's to Vancouver. Rosado, I don't think Jesper Boquist is your playoff 4C. But we'll see. If they're going to trade Rodriguez, the only reason to trade Rodriguez is if you're keeping all three guys. Like, we'll see. Rosado says, I met E2 Monday, Barkov yesterday, and today you're going to see Eki. Hey, tell him to unblock me, Rosado. Huh? David says, I think it'd be letter to let Marshy walk. We can always find a forward. I don't know, man. He was so good with Lundell and Luosterainen. Like, yeah, you can always find a Tarasenko. Sure. You can always do that at the deadline. But Marchand just fits this team so good. Metal. I don't know that Horvoka's ready yet. I don't think he's even had any kind of NHL time at all. I don't think he's quite ready yet. You see him at camp. Cuban, yeah, that's my expectation is either they're going to keep Kakkonen or to go get Lyon. I mean, he's going to be a free agent, right? We already know. I mean, this all started with Lyon against Boston. You know what I mean? People forget that. I forgot it. I said it was Drieger the other day. I forgot it. It was Lyon. Yeah, Vander Kane's to Vancouver. Yep. Yeah, the free agent defensemen in the next 2 years are mid. Hey, Cade. Jason says, I'm sorry, but we have to have Marshy back. Excuse me. Eki was solid at times, but it really came down to structure, so I believe we can sign Schmidt and Nosek, grab a new Schmidt for league minimum. Eki walks. And we do have Megna, yeah. Megna's not a young guy. I don't know. Do you think? I don't know if Megna. I mean, Megna Mikkola would be a hell of a big pair, but can Megna cover second line minutes? That's tough. David says Kane might be the most overrated player in the NHL. We exposed him. Jason says we don't win a cup without Marshy. I don't think that I disagree with that. I really don't. Yeah, exactly, Cade. Brave says I would take Marner at 3 times $750K. Oh, Anthony, that is definitely not my area of expertise. College free agent list for defensemen. That is definitely out of my realm of what I pay attention to. But if there's one out there, I mean, didn't we just get? No, that was the forward. That was Devine. Yeah. Then what would I trade Rodriguez for if it happens? I want 2 firsts, 3 seconds, a fourth, and a DQ franchise. I don't know. I mean, they just gave Evander Kane for a fourth, right? A third? Rodriguez has only got 1 more year on his deal. It's a cheap deal. I don't know. I know I've been saying it's a possibility, but now that there's a rumor that it's a possibility, I don't want it to happen. Only if you're going to keep all 3. But you know, there's always that wild card, right? There's always that wild card that Zito's going to be like, Ekblad walks and we trade Rodriguez to Pittsburgh for Erik Karlsson and they retain half of his salary. Like, there's always some crazy shit that could happen like that. That's actually not bad. I just made that up. Yeah. You let Ekblad walk, and you trade Rodriguez to Pittsburgh. They got to throw in a prospect, though. They got to throw in a prospect because Carlson's old. He can manage on the second pair with Mikkola. Now I'm just moving stuff up, making stuff up. Samuel's twin sister got picked up in the PAWHL draft. That's cool. I'm scrolling down to the bottom because I know I'm way behind in the chat. Way behind. Scrolling down here. Yeah, we got to pay Sam Miskevich like $2 million. Lion 2 at $1 million. Yeah, exactly. Done. That would be a done deal. Yep, Krabs. We got Kane to Vancouver. Yep. Rosado says, I hope Bill isn't watching. Right? Yeah, there are going to be players that are looking for bridge deals. I mean, if Ekblad wants to stay so bad, sign a 1-year bridge deal. Bet on yourself for 1 more year that you can stay healthy. Find out how much Bob's going to not want to extend. You could do that. Yeah, they were investigating the Kane LTR placement. Yeah. Oh, Adonis says Huberto had his wife had his first baby. Congratulations. Braves fan says Erod for Otter with full retention for Otter. Perfect. I love it. Meadow says you can give Bennett 7.5, Marshy 6, Ekblad 6.5, trade Erod, sign Lion, and we'd be cap compliant. We do lose Schmidt and Boquist at 4C, so that would be a focus at the deadline. You need one more defenseman. I hear what you're saying. Because that's what? That's 12, 20, 21. No, that's not enough money. That's not enough money. You got to give Sam Miskevich. You got to pay Sam Miskevich. And you need another forward and another defenseman. Because that's 12, 13, 20, 20 and a half. Erod gives you 23 and a half, 19, 2. It's not enough money, Metal. It's not bad, but it's not enough money. Vincent, there's a rumor about we might be willing to trade Rodriguez. Exactly. Ekblad, please take a pay cut. Yeah. Yeah, we got to pay Sam Miskevich. Yeah. And that's where I agree with Vincent. We can't trade Erod if Kachukin is going to have surgery. I talked about that on the members' podcast today. You kind of have to know. To me, there's 2 things you got to know, and I don't know if Zito's going to have the information before you start making the final deals. But you got to know if Kachuk's going to be available, and I would like to know what Bobrovsky wants as an extension, because that will have an effect. JD Uvis has got 1 more year on his deal. I think Uvis, he's signed for next year. Vince says otherwise it was obvious for Samuel coming of age, Erod goes. Right. Yeah, I hate to see it. He's such a good depth piece. You just put him anywhere when somebody gets hurt. And that's why I figured they signed Boquist. John, yeah, the official day is July 1st. Yeah. Krabs says, Bob is 37. How many more years does he have left in the tank? I think 3. I think next year, that's his last contract year. 2 more. I think you got to find at some point, and we will get to this point. We tried it with Spencer Knight, but Bob took off in one direction and Knight needed to play. You got to get Cooper Black to the point where he can be the young backup for Bobrovsky. Think Swayman Olmark type of situation. I don't think that's going to be this year. I think you got to give Cooper Black 1 more year at the AHL level. You get Alex Lyon in here now, and then you give Bob a 2-year extension. You bring up Cooper Black and say, hey, we need you to take some games off of Bob and start getting him ready. I would suspect that's the plan. But then again, if and when Bob decides to retire, we also could have $7 to $10 million worth of money to go get another goalie. So who knows? Charlie Conway is announcing the Ducks' first-round pick at the draft. That's cool. Fly says if Ekblad won't take $5 million a year for 1 to 2 years until the cap goes up, he could freaking walk. Just take. I mean, it's easy for me to sit here and say it, right? Just take a 1-year deal, Aaron. How about this? You guys really want to start a conspiracy? Ekblad's good for an injury, right? So Ekblad takes a 1-year prove-it deal, and then the team agrees that the first game of the year he broke his pinky toe and he's on LTIR for the rest of the year. So he doesn't play. So he doesn't risk getting hurt. And then when the cap goes up, we give him his long deal, but he plays in the playoffs, and we win 3 cups. Hungry says the hockey guy is going through it with the Kane trade. I don't mean to laugh at him. I'm not laughing at him because you just never know, right? But damn, there was probably nobody. There was no fan base in the NHL going, that's the guy we need is Evander Kane. Fly says we don't have that first cup without Erod. I know. It's John says, are we in a better position this year than last year? We don't know yet. Depends. It honestly depends on what happens with Bennett, Marchand, and Ekblad. There's ways we can make it work, but it's a lot of turnover on D cumulatively over the few years, right? Gudis, Montour, OEL. If we lose Schmidt again, we lose Ekblad. The forward group, we're going to score 6 goals a game. That's what it's going to be. Yeah, exactly, David. Trust Zito. Exactly. Yes, you did, Jason. Good call, too. I says maybe Ekblad could take some PEDs again and get suspended. Yeah, exactly, Rosado. Tell him to ask for the plane. Vincent says all Ekblad wants is term, and he's not kind of guy to take a risk on himself, right? Yeah, he doesn't strike me as, well, he bought a plane, so he does take some kind of risks. But yeah, no, he just wants the term. I mean, but what's the number? 8x5? I'll give him 8x5. I mean, how many more years do you think he's going to be viable? 4? Right? 3, 4? God, 8 years is so long. Like, I'd rather give him 6x6 than 8x5. Of course, that's less money, but you get my point. Mr. Krabs says, I hope the team isn't fatigued after going to 3 straight finals. It happened to the Lightning when they got knocked out by the Leafs. Yeah, they overworked Vasilevsky, in my opinion. Hey, Bro Ogden, lots of stuff is new. Evander Kane's a Canuck. Craig says, if they move Erod, it plays against the culture narrative they've been pushing. I don't disagree, but he is on the last year of his contract. He's not getting re-signed, right, Craig? I mean, you're not extending Erod. He's, 31 as it is. And I guess you could. You got to make room for Sordif, Samoskevich. I mean, you have to continue to get younger, or exactly what we were talking about above is that you get worn out. It's tough, man. I'm not saying I want it to happen. Jameson says all the good vibes from the Abbotsford Canucks winning the Calder Cup have immediately vanished. Kane is not what the Canucks need. He's not what anybody. I can't believe, Jameson, that Vancouver watched that Stanley Cup and said, that's the guy. Go get him. The guy with 2 penalties in the first period. Was it game 2, 3? One of the games. That's the guy we need. Yeah, David. Bennett's by far the most important. Yeah. Jason says, give Eki 8x4.25. I think you think he'd take that? I mean, if he would take 8x4.25, I would have thought that would have been a done deal by now, right? Pro Hagen, I know, right? Krabs, they were talking about it would be till January. So you miss October, November, December. Yeah, 20, 30 games probably. Jason says because he's high, if he thinks he's getting more from us, yeah, maybe. Ivan Provorov on the Panthers. Oh, I don't know. I got my guy that I've picked. Hey, Officer Bob. Paragon says, given that Ekblad has missed so many regular games, I would structure a deal like Taves when he got to say $4 million base, bonuses past 50, 60, 70 games, and playoff bonuses. Well, there'll be a clause in there about the possible suspension because that's a 60-game suspension if he gets dinged again. Adonis says, let's just sit back and let Zito do his work. I don't have that luxury. He's watching. He's watching. He's picking us for right. You guys understand we run the team. He listens to what we have to say. I mean, really. Right? He put everybody in Four Nations. So I guess he didn't listen to anything we had to say because he let everybody go play. He let Chucky fight in Four Nations, and then he knew he was hurt and still let him go out there in the championship game. Like, good luck keeping him off the ice, right? Hey, Matthew. I want to look. I want to just check something out here. All right. I'm looking at Granlund because a lot of people are interested here. Now, I mean, you guys thinking 4C? Where's he playing? I'm looking at his time on ice. He's not been playing 4C. Face-off percentage is decent. Hold on a second. What was he getting paid? So he's getting paid $5 million. What the hell are we going to do with that guy? True question. Fly guy said, yeah, Sordiff can black ace this year like Samuel did. Yeah, basically. Yeah, let Sordiff play the season and then, right. Vincent says we need new blood to add to the team. Ekblad's kind of okay with Forsling. If Zito doesn't have an already replacement for Ekblad, which is really replacement for Montour behind Jones, it's okay to keep him. Well, I would assume we would just go Forsling Jones, right? And you need to give Mikkola a pair. Fly says they traded Nurse for a fourth. Or you think you thinking Kane? Kane was for a fourth. Are you? Is there another deal? Oh, the 8x4 run right. Yeah, it did. It went right on. It's not hard. It's not hard to get me these days. You know what I mean? Vincent says there's options on the trade market to get a ID. Sure, on the trade market, yeah, free agent is garbage. Well, there's a couple guys I said, but I mean, what are you going to do? Not pay Ekblad, trade Rodriguez for his replacement? I guess. I mean, you can fill spots that way, but, you know, the culture of the team is the culture of the team. Losing Ekblad and Rodriguez, that'd be hard. Yeah, exactly, Adonis. Ekblad's more of a concern with his injuries and consistency. He's improved in major areas of weaknesses, but is not an elite D man, although he's valued high for playing on the right. Yeah, people have said that we could be in play for Granlund, but I don't know why. I guess you would. I guess if you were going to lose Sam Bennett and move and move, no, it doesn't make it. I mean, if you lost Bennett and you move Lundell to 2C, you'd have Granlund at 3C. I guess that's not a Stanley Cup winning team. No, you got to keep Bennett. And you're going to put, what are you going to do? Put Granlund at 4C? What's he going to do? Take $1 million? You're going to take a $4 million pay cut? Ask the puppets about Ekblad's contract. Like I said, the puppets are waiting for his wife to decide. Craig says, add more Finns, Granlund or bust. I know, David. They're all going to play in the Olympics, too. Give Eki $5 over 8 years, yeah. Vincent says, Marchand is a gift. He's already here and he's a fit. 100% agree. Rosado says Nick Bigstag is the guy. It's not impossible. About Saad? Well, maybe. He's still playing. He's old, isn't he, at this point? Right? Or am I thinking of... Yeah, he's 32. He's not that old. No, boy, his play dropped off. He must have been hurt. Saad's play has really dropped off. His numbers haven't, but the games played. He must have been hurt the last couple of years. He last played 82 games in 23-24, got 26 goals with the Blues. Then he played 43 and had 7 goals last year, played 30. No, he got traded. Oh, okay, dumbass Jaws. 13 goals. I wouldn't be against it, but again, it's a situation of where, right? Yeah, Kane was traded for the 4th. Yeah. Somebody above had also said Nurse. They assume it's Granlund in place of Marshy. Oh, no. Just let Sordiff play on that spot for a while. And if we need to fix it at the trade deadline, I get what you're saying, the 3 Finns. We can't afford that. I don't know. Mikko Rantanen. They signed him, right? They gave him a contract. Yeah. Fly Guy says, I honestly think Megna is really being overlooked here. Paul really liked what he saw from Megna. As a 7D, sure. But if you lose Ekblad, you need a top 4 guy. Oh, you're meaning Kane. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, did they trade them both? Yeah, that's it, bro. We don't need forwards. That's the thing. That's the thing. There's $19 million. If you give Bennett, let's just say you gave him 8, it might be less. Let's say you gave him 8, you got 11 left. You got to give Samoskevich 2, you got 9. You got to give a goalie 1. You got to give a reserve forward 1, reserve defenseman 1. You got $6 million left without trading Rodriguez. If you don't trade Rodriguez, you put him on the 3rd line, and you've got some money left to fix the hole that Ekblad leaving left. Maybe some of those 1 millions end up 1.5. You know what I mean? But in terms of the forward group, right now, if you sign Marchand, we have 13 forwards, and that don't count Sordiff. If we sign Marchand without trading anybody, we already got 13 forwards. We have the exact same group, and you got to plug Samoskevich back in. Bex, yeah. And there's another name. Alchemist wants to know, can we salvage Jesse Puljujarvi? I kind of liked him. I'm not saying he'd be much more than a fourth-line player, but he's good depth for sure. It's good depth to have. He played well for us, I thought. He was out there hitting everything that moved, for sure. With Greer and Gadjevich are signed. I mean, Zito has done a crazy job. There's just a rumor, Kachuk. There's innuendo about maybe trading Rodriguez. And Shavassi says if Ekblad's gone, re-sign Schmidt. Agreed. Yeah, good point. David says, on a side note, do we think Chucky's dad makes the Hall of Fame? I would think so. And John says, we still do have to find a backup for Bob. That's gonna. My guess is Alex Lyon. If they don't go with Kakinen, which honestly, I would like to see Cooper Black be the starter for the Checkers. And you're either going to go with Kakinen, who's already in the system, or go get Alex Lyon again. All right, Rosado, send it out to me. Trey says, give Bennett an 8x12 and flip him for McDavid. Oh, my God. And I agree with Parag and says, I don't think we'll get anyone better for Rodriguez than $3 million. I agree. Yeah, you wish you could trade me, but know what he's calling. You got to get deeper into the phone book. You got to get deeper into the phone book. Get to the Q's and the Z's. Nobody ever calls the Q's and the Z's. They'll take me. Puljujarvi signed to a Swiss team? Oh, well, that sucks. Mr. Vids, we're going to be live at 4 o'clock over on the football channel today. Just to talk a little bit. Yeah, John, I don't know about the bonuses. That's a good question. Fly Guy, I don't disagree there. Froggen says we have 7.9 million in non-roster players according to Puckpedia. Hey, thank you, John. Thank you, bud. Thank you, John. He says, is there any truth that Kyle is on location at the NHL draft scouting players? Kyle is barely on location outside of his bed. He is on vacation location. He's been listing on eBay, so I'll give him that credit. It's so hot, man. We're both just like dying over here. It's so damn hot. We hit 100 yesterday, felt like 107. So to say we're staying inside is an understatement. And David's talking about the rainy day. I'll take it, man. Colin will still talk about Panthers. No, we got to talk football. I got to get the algorithm going out. I put a football video out. It's got like 20 views. Like, Jesus. Come on, algorithm. Help me out a little bit. Just a little bit, man. Come on. I'm not even making that up, Colin. It's like 26 views in like 14 hours. It's bad. Hey, thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. Yeah, Cooper Black is 6'8". Yeah. Javai says the Dolphins don't deserve the love. No, we're going to be old school. Remember how this channel used to do nothing but bitch and complain? That's what the football channel is going to be. That's where all of our bitching and complaining will go to. Yeah, Trader's still eating DQ down in the Bahamas, right? Well, Mike, I get what you're saying, but I gotta make a living. And when I gotta make a living, and hockey ain't enough. Unfortunately, if I could make all the money I needed with this channel, I would do it. But I gotta have other sources. So we do the football and we do the eBay. Trey still's got the Dolphins moving to London. Pretty much, Mr. Krabs. I think that they won Game 3 against Vegas when Marino banged the drum, but it was Marino. Yeah, we can talk about all the Dolphins banging the drum. Exactly. Kachunkin says Ekblad to Toronto 8-7, then slip him another PED and his mandatory suspension to 6 games. But slip it to him like, midway through the season. So it's the full rest of the season and the playoffs. Thank you, Rosado. Thank you, Amanda. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, Amanda. Thank you. Vincent says the name is wrong. How are Dolphins supposed to play football on the grass? Kyle says all the years they lost because the helmet covered the blowhole. And it wasn't wrong. It's like the poor dude couldn't breathe. The helmet was covering the blowhole. Gotcha, Rosado. Trey. Oh, poor Tua. Good God. You ain't that right, Krabs. Yeah. Maybe Ekblad should sign with the Dolphins. Well, I tell you. Zito says there's a way we can do them all. I mean, the money's there. I have to, in my guess, the money would be, the issue would be Ekblad. Because Bennett is going to come in between 7 and 8. And I mean, honestly, just give Marchand 8 years, $3 million. He's going to play 3 more years. You got to buy him out. So what's the penalty? What would the penalty be? Does anybody know this off the top of your head? If you signed Marchand to 8 years at $3 million, and then you had to buy him out for the last 5, what percentage of that $3 million goes against the cap for those 5 years? Does anybody know the percentage that? Because I know with Leandro it was de-escalated, right? So does anybody know the answer to that question? Because that seems like a way to just get it done. And then what are you going to have? $1 million, $2 million cap hit for the extra 5 years? Cuban says, when we win 3 in a row, you have to wear a red thong. All right, Cuban. If we win 3 in a row, somebody can screenshot that. Thank you, Cuban. If we win 3 in a row, I will do part of the recap wearing nothing but a red thong. Okay? All right? I deal that. I agree with that. You can't buy out players over 35. Kachuk, why you ruin it, man? Why you ruin it? Why would they make that a rule? Well, that sucks. You can't buy out players over 35. Well, shit. There goes that. How come nobody has said that? I've been saying 8x3 and buy them out for like a week. And you're the first one to tell me you can't buy out players over 35. Is everybody as stupid as me? I'm still going on the billboard of that thong and the Florida that. Well, maybe to get me on spitting chiclets, right? Fly Guy says, dude, yeah, talking about Ekblad. Dude says he wants to stay but won't budge. That's not very team friendly. I know Ekblad's been getting paid more than Marchand. I mean, it's not like he's been on a cheap contract, right? Come on, Ekblad, you can afford it. You can't go 0.75 over the cap with bonuses. Gotcha. Trafossi says they can. Hold on a second. Let's look this up. Let's just get this right out of the way. So I need to know the answer to that. It's not the buyout route. It's an LTR route, LTIR route. Okay. Let me see. Can you buy out NHL players over 35. Yes, NHL teams can buy out players who are 35 years or older, but the implications for the team's salary cap differ from buyouts of younger players. While a buyout reduces the salary owed to the player, the full cap hit of a 35-plus contract typically remains on the team's books unless specific conditions are met. So the exceptions to this rule are if a 35-plus contract has no signing bonuses beyond the first year and isn't front-loaded, the team may receive some salary cap relief from a buyout. If a player on 35-plus contract retires, the full cap hit of the contract remains on the team's book unless the contract meets the conditions of cap relief. So if you gave him a signing bonus in the first year and didn't front load the contract, you can buy him out and you get a little bit of relief. So that makes sense. Okay. All right. So back to my plan of 8 years at $3 million. Yeah. Hey, Impatient. How you doing, bud? Thoughts on Mackey's deal? I think it's going to be Mackey's deal, in my opinion, is going to be 2 by 175. I think he could probably get 2 by 2.25 in a better situation where we're under the cap a little bit better. But my guess is Mackey will take $500,000 less, 2 by 175. And then if he continues on his arc, he's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid. That would be my guess. And who do I have in mind for a backup goalie Impatient? Alex Lyon. Alex Lyon is available. He was only making $900,000 last year. Perfect fit. Bring him home. This whole thing started with Lyon playing against Boston to start that series. So for me, that's where I would go for backup goalie, because we're going to have to go cheap anyway. Savasi, how about Reimer? He's out there. I'd rather have Lyon. I'd rather have Lyon. Kenny says if you owe $8 million for 4 years and buy it out, becomes $4 million for 8 years. Cap hits half length. Right. Okay. Okay, so it's half and the length doubles. So then if we had 5, so if we signed him to 8 years at $3 million and did it so we could buy him out after 3, we would have 10 years of $1.5 million on the cap for Marchand, a full decade, by what Kenneth is saying. Kind of like the Yandel thing, right? One of Granlund's nicknames is Finnish Baby. That would trump Baby Barkey, right? Yeah. Sure thing, Impatient. Yeah, I put out a video during a couple of weeks ago while the finals were still going on. I laid out everything in terms of could we keep all 3 guys, and I talk about backup goaltender and possibly replacing Ekblad in that video. I go over all the numbers. And so I looked at the free agent goalies, and it's slim pickings at our price range, but Lyon is available. I'm like, that just makes so much sense. Jake Allen, he's too expensive. We can't afford him. Jake Allen, I mean, I think we looked at this yesterday. Yeah, it's right there. I mean, he was making 3.8. So, I mean, he's going to take what? he's going to take a 75% reduction in salary. I just don't see us in the market for anything other than a minimum wage guy. But that's just my opinion. Vince says, yeah, that would make Marchand a Florida Panther legend, a decade over 37, right? Cuban, oh yeah, we're gonna be live. We're gonna be live for free agency. Yeah, we're gonna be live for free agency. Everything is good to go there. I don't think he has a cup. Patel says trade for Shelos. If the Canucks are willing to trade bad contracts like Evander Kane, why not? Right? Yeah, it'll be Bobby Bonilla Day for a whole decade, Rosado. Yeah. And I mean, in terms of Ekblad, he's 29. If you give him 8 by 6, God. Bennett's 7.5, Ekblad 6, 13.5. Marchand 3 is 16.5. Samuel gets 2. It's too much. It's too much. Unless Ekblad's going to take like 4. Like Ekblad would have to take 8 by 4 to give Marchand 8 by 3 to give Bennett 7.5 to not have to trade Rodriguez. I just don't see how they're going to do it. 16 years ago today. Interesting. Tom. No, they're not going to get traded unless, you technically could trade his rights. Remember, we did that with Yandel. Isn't that what we did? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Why do I remember that we traded for the rights to negotiate with Yandel for like a week or something before? Am I remembering that correctly? It was so long ago. All right, Rosado, email it to me, bud. Strafasi, I hate to say it, Erod might get traded. Okay, so Yandel got bought out. No. We bought Yandel out. I'm talking about when we got Yandel. When we acquired Yandel. Or did he get bought out then? Why am I thinking we traded for his rights? Kachukin says Erod kind of has to go. There's just no cap situation that works. Unless you could maybe find a taker for Boquist. But Boquist is probably the Rodriguez insurance. Man says, am I planning to have an intro video to the live streams next season? It's definitely going to be a little bit of a different feel to it. Yeah, now that my internet can handle that kind of stuff, for sure. Probably starting next week, I'm going to be. So I have a DJ, the fishing camera, the Osmo Action 3. I bought a stand. I'm going to be moving things around, and so I'm going to be streaming using that camera instead of the webcam. So the quality should go through the roof. The picture quality should go through the roof. Because this is just the cheap $30 webcam that we've been using, which obviously the DJ is not. But yeah, we'll probably have a little bit of a something, while the 2 or 3 minutes while I make you guys wait every day. Mike says, shouldn't it start to get harder for Bill Zito to trade for talent? I mean, a general manager is going to know if Bill wants somebody they got. That's a good point, right? Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Like if Bill's calling, who's the guy they want, immediately promote them to the professional team. If Bill Zito's calling for any of your AHL guys, immediately hang up the phone, tell your coaching staff to take that player and put him on the ice on your professional team. Kachunka says Erod and Lucy both make 3 and have 2 years left. It's a pretty obvious choice, right? Yeah, you're going to see nose hairs, Kenneth. Yeah. I like that idea, Bex. I like that idea. Froggen says Bennett's taking 7 by 8 or 7 million 8 years. Brad's taking 5.5 million for 4. So what's that? That'd be 12 and a half. Leaves us 6.5. Samuel leaves us 4. The only way to sign, well, if you let Ekblad walk, you don't have to trade Rodriguez. If you can get Schmidt to stay for $1 million and put Mikola Schmidt and then just fix that hole at the trade deadline, I'm just saying, it could happen. John said, yeah, nobody might ever trade with Zito at the trade deadline again, right? Exactly. All right, everybody, I'm going to roll for now because I got the 4:00 stream coming. Thank you all for hanging out. Much, much love, appreciation for all the super chats. The members podcast is up. I couldn't go fishing because it's 100 freaking degrees. I think Friday morning I can get to go fishing. Tom, where do I see Erod going? I would hate to lose him, but if you're going to lose him, send him to the Western Conference. Don't send him to somebody we might have to play in the playoffs. That's for sure. And you can't help it if they get to the finals. So, all right, for those of you who are fans of the football channel, I will be live 4:00 today just to get things moving over there, talk a little bit of Dolphins, a little bit of football, whatever football you guys want to talk. That's what we're talking. We got to flick the algorithm in the nuts. I got to start putting content out on that channel so the algorithm remembers us. It is what it is. All right, everybody. Thank you, Amanda. Appreciate all the support. I shall see you mañana.